My name is Joni, and I'm the founder of Mint Mirth. It's an experiential design company where we focus on seasonal, custom, and craft cocktails for weddings and big fancy house parties. I don't just bartend, I'm also an artist and a writer, and an engaged queer woman. Yeah, good crowd for that. So picture this. 2 years ago, on a Thursday night at 8 o'clock in the evening, I was in the bathroom of a bridal expo show, crying my eyes out. And I said to my friend on the phone, I can take the hot pink feather boas, I can take it. And I can take the ring bearer's sign that says, last chance to run. And I can take the rhinestone tote bags that are all labeled bride, and they're all pink, and I think it's really okay that they should be pink, but I don't think they should always be pink. But it's our third show of the pre-wedding season, and I don't think I can take one more mention of the his and her honeymoon package. And I'm not sure why this particular giveaway broke me, right? It made me call out for help. I should have been used to it, right? It's no big deal. It's a his and her vacation in Maui, or whatever the thing is. Wedding giveaways and packages are marketed to the majority. And the majority, as I surely know it, it's just one him and one her. I should have learned to just shrug it off by then. That little chest pain that I got whenever a judgmental mother-in-law would give this malicious side eye to my butchy fiance. I should have known that bridal shows, which are supposed to be an opportunity to connect with florists and planners and bakeries and videographers, they're geared toward one specific type of person, and that target person isn't me. I was hoping that people of any gender or sexuality could come to this show to get some insight about the services that they might need help with. But the fitness studio that promised to make you hot enough to be worthy of your man, it pushed me over the edge. And I need to be honest with you, that night I thought about closing Mint Mirth forever. So let me take you back to the beginning of Mint Mirth for a little more context around this. When my partner and I started our wedding and events business, it was a pretty simple business plan. We're gonna have delicious custom cocktails, they're gonna have beautiful garnishes, we're gonna have cute signage, cute outfits, and we're only gonna do gay weddings. That's the business plan. Bank was like, what? So, I mean, how naive we were, right? We're 2 beers deep, and we're just brimming with idealism. We just forgot that a very small fraction of weddings are queer. And that gay marriage was illegal in our state. Our target market was not exactly huge. So, in the spirit of inclusivity, I learned some things along the way as well about this topic. I expanded our services list to include weddings of any kind. Makes sense? But what I found is that between the black tuxedos and the white poofy Cinderella dresses, there wasn't a lot of space for pagan, vegan, disabled, bears, otters, leather daddies, some of my people were not represented in this space. And so, while on perhaps if you got to a contract phase of booking, perhaps on the contract it wouldn't say his and hers, but so many little micro decisions before that had been constructed to create this environment of not belonging, to create a space of where some people belong and the others don't. And that little subconscious, those little choices, those little marketing choices, or however you want to think of it, created this environment where it didn't feel super safe. It didn't feel safe. And even when there was other friends and vendors who I knew were in support of gay marriage specifically, there might have been other things that they were not in support of. And when you feel that every day in your circle of business peers, it is a bit hard. It is a bit hard. And not just on us as a company, but just on our spirits. It's a pun because we work with spirits. You know, it was hard when a leering groomsman slapped our queer employee's butt and he asked if she and I were going home to scissor after this. That was hard. It was hard when a DJ asked me, "Aw, I bet you want to hear that gay Macklemore song, huh?" So in the beginning, every wedding was just a reminder of these privileges that we did not have. We've been together for 6 years, and we served at the wedding of people who had known each other for 6 weeks. So the wedding industry it's just the world of straights. Let's say it right there. And in a country with presidential candidates who don't hesitate to remind us that we're second-class citizens. But what I found is that the wedding industry can also be the world of allies, like some of the amazing, beautiful spirits in this room. And as our business grew, I found strength and friendship in those relationships. And through those networks, I managed to find our 10 amazing staff members, many of whom identify as genderqueer, pansexual, or other. Things started to change. Things started to look up. Gay marriage was legal in Oregon. Then there was the Supreme Court decision. There's been a lot of progress. It's really heartening. Our heterosexual clients began to include readings. I didn't ask them to do this. Readings so in their ceremony about these issues and moments of silence for people who couldn't marry. That's major. I'm like, it's your wedding. I thought that was pretty major. And as you guys know, wedding vendors, we often collaborate on styled, inspirational photo shoots, right? We work together to make kind of like a mock wedding. And then we can send that content off to like a magazine or a blog and showcase the amazing work of all the vendors involved. Well, I noticed that a lot of these articles and features didn't include gay, bi, transgender, lesbian couples. So I organized a beautiful winter wedding styled shoot with a real-life committed couple, Adam and Andrew. Then, the popular wedding inspiration blog that you may know, Style Me Pretty, told me, we don't publish gay weddings. We don't publish gay content. And that was hard. And immediately afterwards, vendors and allies offered me so much support and space to strike back in a meaningful way. Adam and Andrew's gorgeous portraits went on to be featured in a different blog with thousands of viewers, giving testament to the validity and the intimacy of their love, their commitment to each other. And along the way, they brought new business to the Pacific Northwest vendors who had supported their vision and marriage equality. So I know, of course, this is not due to this one isolated instance, but I do want to share with you, since then, the leadership team at Style Me Pretty has evolved and changed, and they do now publish queer content fairly regularly. Good times. So through my experiences in the industry, I've come to an understanding that we have a responsibility to exist. We have a responsibility to exist. And people tell me that being queer isn't relevant to wedding bartending, but I think it totally is. We're young, small business owners. We are queer girls trying to make a name for ourselves. We helped Melissa and others overturn Measure 36, and now we can get married in my home state. It's great. And there's other queer companies in Portland, like Red's Creations Florals, and Gina Marie Campbell. She does hair and makeup. A lot of you have worked with her before. And Duchess Clothier's Suits. Other companies like that are showing that it's actually our excellence that defines us alongside our queerness. not instead of or in the place of. Our excellence can define us alongside our queerness. Offbeat Bride, and there's one called A Bicycle Built for Two. They're giving voice to these stories. They're showing that this is quite a spectrum. This is not one target niche market. This is a broad spectrum of people and families and lives that live in really different ways. That I won't even be able to speak to all of them tonight, which is why I brought in this panel of experts. And just to show that gayness exists in so many different forms and formats. It doesn't just look like one thing. Through that, we've brought our queerness with us to summer weddings in fields, glam weddings at art museums, to hippie earth goddess weddings at Forest Park. We bring our queerness with us. And we do our jobs well. We show up on time. We manifest our differences without trying to steal the show. Does that make sense? So if there are other queer business owners in the audience, I guess I would just say to you, think about that responsibility to exist. And know that every client you talk to with a gracious smile will remember you. That you weren't a freak. You weren't unworthy of love by a normal person. You weren't miserable. You did a great job. And I feel that in that way, if our customer service is impeccable, it's actually one of our greatest weapons. Therefore, we have a responsibility to reject thinly veiled criticisms. I hate those. By shining our brightest, we have a responsibility to dance the night away in reception halls, and we do. Once I realized this, we entered this whole new phase, this whole new realm of creative freedom and expression. And, more interestingly to you guys, the business boomed. And I'll show you the stats if you ever want to get together. I went back to the bridal show that night 2 years ago because I had this mission on my mind. I wanted to speak to the coordinators about the injustices that I saw. And now I regularly consult with vendors who would like to promote their businesses in more inclusive ways. So at the next wedding networking event type thingy that we're all at, if someone says to me, "I like your ring, what does your husband do?" They're just gonna get a big friendly, "Well, actually," and the story will ensue. And if there is a door prize grab bag with plastic bachelorette tiaras, you better believe that some of those bags are going to have 2 tiaras. The media likes to tell stories about and on behalf of LGBTQ people, and that can create conflict. But by existing together as friends and as vendors in an industry, we can begin to tell our own stories and create our own content and share our vision. I believe that by doing so, we can co-create a society without hatred, without mistrust, where good people can be free and prosper. Thanks.